SJ Talks in Life coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come on and step in my office. Um, have a seat, sit down, relax yourself. I want to talk about um, it's getting close to the holidays. This video, I was supposed to do this video a long time ago, but I think this is a good time to do it. Um, letting God help us with anxiety and depression. So if you want to come on in to my office and have a seat and sit down, um, I want to have a talk with you guys about letting God help us with anxiety and depression. And I say us, I'm including me in that too, because I deal with those things as well. So when I say us, I'm talking about me too. It's getting close to the holidays, and I know um, every winter. I struggle. I think I have that seasonal, uh, um, I really struggle around when wintertime is approaching. It seems like when the leaves fall off the trees, there's something about the leaves falling off the trees that brings me down. Those leaves fall off the trees and the trees are bare, it's just something about that that just, and then the days are shorter, and so it gets darker faster, and it's just something about that that just really brings me down. It really brings me down. And then in the wintertime up here in Michigan, we don't get a lot of sun. We have lots and lots of cloudy days. And then with the snow and all that, it just in wintertime is the longest season of the year up here in Michigan. So I really struggle mentally in the wintertime, in the winter months. I really struggle. Let me know in the comment section if you guys go through something similar. If you live in up here in the Midwest, up north, do you find yourself struggling more mentally in the winter months? I know I do. I know I have to really um, go that extra mile to uh, um, lift my spirits. I really struggle. It's really difficult for me in the winter months. Um, and plus, I got some other things going on as well, so that doesn't help. Life happens. Life happens for all of us. Um, life be lifing. Life be lifing. And it happens. Life happens for all of us. And so how do I know I did a video back in the summer talking about how to cope when life be lifing. I'll put the link to that video along with this one. But I know life happens for everybody. It doesn't matter what race we are. I don't care, male or female. I don't care what race you are. Life happens for everybody. Life be lifing. As they say, life be lifing everybody. So it's it's very difficult, and it just seems like the older we get. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comment section. It just seems like the older we get, the more um I don't know, the harder life gets, and the more it gets to be more difficult to mentally cope. It's more of a challenge as we get older. And particularly over the age of 50, which that's probably a whole nother video. It really gets harder over the age of 50 because lots and lots of changes are taking place in our bodies after we get 50, especially with us women, with menopause, and I'm going to be doing some videos talking about that. But men go through changes as well. Over the age of 50, men go through changes in their body. Women go through changes. We go through lots of changes in our body, and lots of changes take place in women's bodies over the age of 50. So it becomes really challenging over the age of 50 to um, really, really, really navigate life. In lots of times, there's lots of changes going on during that time as well. Um, your children are growing up, getting older. I know I have two adult sons, um, and I worry about them more now than I did when they're younger. And our parents are aging and getting older. My mother's getting older, and she needs more assistance. And so, you know, as we get older, lots of things change and stuff like that. And so it just it's a different set of challenges versus when you were in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. Over the age of 50, you get um, a set of whole different new challenges. So plus the changes that's taking place in your body. So it's particularly challenging over the age of 50. But um, all of us at any age, life be life, and so how do we cope, and how do we I know over the last 3 decades, um I've had lots and lots of challenges, particularly being a single mother. I had lots and lots of challenges over the last 3 decades. And so everybody's situation is different, you know. Everybody's situation is different, no two people's situation is the same. So depending on who you are, what your individual circumstances is, what's going on in your life, um, determines, we all going through something. And I don't care who you are, we all going through something. And that's why it's important for us to treat each other with kindness, love, and respect, because everybody's going through something. I don't care who you are. We're all going through something. So that's why I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in there. It's important to treat love people with love and kindness. Even on social media is important. It doesn't matter whether it's on social media, off social media. It's important to treat people with love and kindness, because you never know what people are dealing with. You never know what people are going through, especially us content creators. I'm gonna throw that in there too. uh, treat just treat everybody with kindness, because you never know what people are going through. Even content creators, we struggle too. We may not always come on here and talk about things. Um, Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. But we go through stuff too. I go through, I'm going through lots of stuff. Um, I just don't talk about everything. I just don't come on here and talk about it all the time. Um, but how do we navigate life, go to work every day? You know, I mean, of course, I'm not working right now, but lots of people have to go to work, um, have to take care of children, have to take care of their families. How do we um, mentally cope, and mentally get enough um, our mind right so we can do what we need to do, and then still you know, um, have to endure the challenges that life throws at us. And particularly, it's getting close to the holidays, and I know lots of people suffer from depression and anxiety around the holidays. Um, Lots of people suffer from depression around the holidays. Like I said, winter time is rough for me. The winter months is extremely rough for me. Um, but I know lots of people suffer on the holidays because Some people have lost loved ones. You had a lot of people that have lost loved ones, especially, particularly over the last 3 years. We've been dealing with this COVID situation, and lots of people have lost loved ones as a result of that. Some people have lost several family members, and particularly when you got people that have suffered losses of loved ones of people really close to them, and then the holidays roll around and they're used to celebrating the holidays with those people, and then the holidays roll around and those loved ones are not here. It's really difficult for a lot of people. Lots of people struggle, and lots of people suffer um, because of loss of loved ones, you know. And how do we still navigate life and get through life with dealing with the loss of grief? Every with grief and loss of loved one, everybody is different. Everybody is different. Everybody deals with it in a different way. Everybody grieves in a different way. Um, and I don't think anybody can tell one person can't tell another person how to deal with their grieving situation. It's a very personal, individual thing, and everybody deals with grief in a different way. And grief takes on many forms. It's not just it loss of a loved one. That's probably the top of the list right there, as far as grief. But there's different types of grieving situations. Grief comes in different forms, and um, it might be a loss of a spouse, a loss of a mate. People I know I've never been married, but I heard divorce is pretty bad for a lot of people. I've heard divorce is pretty devastating for a lot of people, but yeah, it could be a loss of a mate, in a divorce type situation, or you had a long term relationship and you had a breakup, and that that in itself can be challenging. It could be loss of a career, like you working, you had a good job and you lost. I know lots of people went through that during COVID, where they lost their job. That can take you into a depression, particularly if you was making good money and you liked the job. Any major life change can take you into kind of like a grieving process. Any major life change, a loss of a spouse, a loss of a loved one in death, loss of a spouse, loss of a job, or in my case, back in 2020, I had to take off work because I had major back and leg issues. So that was um, really difficult for me mentally and emotionally to deal with. And I've been, dealing with that over the last 3 years, and um, that's been really, really challenging to me. So it could be, and that's another thing. It could be health issues. It could be anything related to your health. That can cause that can bring on anxiety and depression. Any there's different types of grief and different things that happen in life that can cause you to go into a depression and anxiety. So, like I said, life be lifing. Whether if even if you're married and if you're having problems in your marriage and you're trying to navigate taking care of children, um, that can be difficult as well for married people. Or if you're a single parent and you're trying to be a single parent. I know that was very difficult for me over the years. Um, and so it's different types of situations, different types of scenarios, and different types of situations that people go through in life. Um, if you're unemployed, or you're having a difficult time trying to find a job, that can be very depressing. Try to cover as many bases as I can. There's so many things that can happen to us in life that can Just this economy in itself, and how things, everything. I don't know about you guys, but it's depressing even walking into the store now and seeing the high prices and the job, the pay is not really going up like it should. You know, they're not increasing minimum wage like they should, and everything is gas prices and food prices are crazy. And that in itself, I don't know about you guys, but it's depressing walking into the grocery store anymore because when you see the prices on some of this food, it's just crazy. And then the wages aren't going up. I mean, housing costs, I mean, it's through the roof. So when you think of things related to the economy, like housing costs and food costs and everything, that can be a major source of anxiety and depression for lots of people across the board. And that's affecting everybody across the board. I don't care what race you are. That affects everybody across the board. And so how do we get through it? Um and the one thing that I mean, the difference between, I know I talked about God in the other video that I did, but this one I want to talk about how do we let God help us when we're dealing with all these challenges in life, when we're dealing with depression, when we're dealing with anxiety. Um, how do we let, that's what I want to talk about. How do we let God help us with these things? This video is gonna be a little long, so bear with me. That's what I want to talk about. If you are a believer in God, Jesus Christ, I know I am, and you're dealing with these challenges in life, whatever your situation is, um, you're dealing with these challenges because life be life for everybody. And you're dealing with depression and anxiety. How do we let God help us with these situations? I know that, um, and as I mentioned in the other video, therapy is always a good thing. It's always good to talk to somebody that's objective. And sometimes it's hard to talk to other people because everybody's going through something. As I mentioned earlier in the video, we're all going through something. And so sometimes it's difficult to talk to other people about what we're going through because that person that you're talking to, they going through stuff too. So I know I have a friend that I talk to, and um I tell her about what I'm dealing with, and I talk about what I'm dealing with, but then she talks about what she's dealing with too. And so we kind of a sense of support for each other. So I mean, if you have a really close friend that you can talk to, and they can talk about what they're going through, and you can talk about what you're going through, and y'all can kind of um be a sense of support for each other. That's wonderful. But and then you can trust them not to go off and run their mouth about, you know, because sometimes a listening ear is a running mouth. So but it's hard to find somebody that you can really, really talk to without them going out there putting all your business in the street, and really, really, listen to you and really be empathetic of what you're dealing with. Very difficult to find somebody like that. So sometimes a therapist is good because a therapist they cannot, because of confidentiality, they can't tell anybody what you tell them. And it's somebody that is not doesn't have a biasness, because you might be talking to somebody that might have a biasness towards you or whatever, and you just don't know. So you just have to be careful who you talk to about your problems. And then, like I said, everybody's dealing with their own issues, and whereas they might, I'm not saying that they don't care, they may care, but they have their own issues that they're trying to navigate through. So, therapy, I highly recommend therapy, because you can unload things off on a therapist, and it's a listening ear. Um, and sometimes a therapist can help you unpack a lot of things too, past traumas or whatever the situation is. So I highly recommend therapy, especially particularly for African Americans. There's a stigma in the African American community about getting therapy. And so I highly recommend, particularly African Americans, to go seek therapy. So I highly recommend a therapist. But if you need, some people need medication. Sometimes depression and anxiety it takes it goes into clinical. Um, where some medications can help readjust some things mentally for you. For some people it's clinical. So I personally don't um really want to take medication for depression and anxiety, um because I'm not a pill person, and I like to keep, when I take things, I like it to keep it as natural as I possibly can, unless I absolutely have to take a medication for pain or something like that. I really don't want to really take anything else outside of that, but that's me personally. But I don't knock anybody else for taking anxiety meds. It might work for somebody else. Somebody else might need to take anxiety medication or the depression medication. So it depends on the individual person. If that's what you need, that's what you need. So therapy, medication if you need it, um, herbal remedies. Hey, I'm for that as well. Herbal remedies. It does help people with anxiety and depression, and it helps me as well. I'm not gonna lie to you. It does help me. When I say herbal remedies, you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't say that word on here, but um, herbal remedies. If your state has legalized it, my state has legalized it, so there's many places in my city that I can go. Um, but you can take it in form of edibles. You can get put those have those herbal remedies in the edible form or other forms as well. So yeah, I don't knock it. It's good for treating anxiety, pain, helping with depression, like that. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't knock it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Um, and exercise, I find that exercise helps me as well. Whenever anytime I go, I know I go to the pool and I do my pool exercises whenever I can. Exercise, I try to exercise when I can, and I think, yeah, exercise definitely helps you mentally. If you can try to get some type of movement in, go for a walk or whatever. I know I can't walk very far, but pool exercises definitely helps me. Whenever I can get in the pool and do my pool exercises, it's definitely therapeutic for me. So I highly recommend exercise, reading, or listening to music. Or I know I like to drive in the car and listen to music. I don't know about you guys, but I love riding in the car and listening to my music. That's very therapeutic for me. So find things that you enjoy doing, like exercising or listening to music, watching movies, or reading. I know I love to read. I like to read my Bible. I like to read. I'm a bookworm, so I love to read. So anything that's gonna help you mentally, that help you kind of take your mind off of what you're going through, it's good. It's a good thing. But all those things are really, really good. But how do we let God help us with depression and anxiety? That's the question. We we can let God help us. We gotta let him in though, because God does not force himself on anyone. It's we have to make the choice to seek God and let him in. And reading your Bible is very, very instrumental in helping us. There's scriptures in the Bible that you can read and meditate on. I know there's certain scriptures that I like to read and I like to meditate on, and it kind of does help me. And prayer, The power of prayer is very, very, very powerful. Whenever it is that you're going through, nobody's going to understand more than God, because He loves you more than anybody on this earth. So whatever the Bible says, bring your burdens onto me. So whatever it is that you're dealing with, and anxiety, depression, and whatever life challenges that you're dealing with, and that you're having a difficult time coping with them, bring it to God. Pray about it, and let Him into your heart, and let Him help you with what you're going through. Don't knock the power of prayer. The power of prayer is very, very powerful. And I know that when I pray about things, whatever it is that I'm dealing with, whatever challenge that comes my way and I'm dealing with, I definitely make it a matter of prayer, and ask God to help me. I ask Him to help me get through things, different things, and He can and He will help you, but you got to let Him in. You have to let Him in. And that's the important thing, because God doesn't force Himself on anyone. And so we have to let Him in. And I know some people may have go into having suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. And so when you're having those kinds of thoughts, because it's rough out here, guys. It's rough out here. And so if you go into that mind frame, it's especially important too, because life is precious. Life is really, really precious. No matter what we're going through, it's a blessing to even wake up every day. When we wake up every day, it's a blessing. No matter what we're going through. And so, but sometimes we could be going through so much, it's hard to see that. Sometimes we could be going through so much, um, that it's hard to see, to have the proper appreciation for life for a lot of people. And so when you're feeling that way, when you're having feelings of, you want to give up, because lots of people have those feelings that they want to just give up, and that's when you can really, really go take it to the throne and start praying to God and asking Him to help you, and He will help you if you let Him into your heart and fully surrender to Him. He will help you. Jehovah God will help you, but you have to let Him in. You have to let Him into your heart and let Him help you. So all those other things are good. Therapy, medication, uh all those things that I mentioned earlier, all those things are good too. But don't leave God out of the equation. Let Him help you. Let Him into your heart, and let Him help you, because I know prayer uh helps me. It definitely helps me, and reading my Bible helps me as well. You know. Um I don't know where you guys' uh level of spirituality is, or where your walk with God is, but um, none of us are perfect. We're all going to fall short, but and God knows that. So just give it to God. Just give it to Him and let Him help you with whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's loss of a loved one, or you lost your job, or loss of a spouse, or loss of a mate. You're dealing with the challenges of single parenthood. I know that's really challenging for a lot of people. It was challenging for me. Um, Whatever it is that you're dealing with in life, let God help you with it. Let Him help you with it. Um, so yes, let God in and let Him help you with it. Because reading your Bible and prayer, trust me, uh, it's very, very helpful. Don't leave Him out of the equation when you're dealing with anxiety and depression. Um, don't leave God out of the equation. He will help you, but you gotta let Him help you with it. You gotta let him help you with it. It's all about letting them into your heart and letting them help you with it. Okay, hit me up in the comment section. Tell me about your experiences of what you're dealing with. Is the holidays and wintertime very difficult for you mentally? Um, do you suffer from anxiety? Just hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are dealing with, and what are some of the things you do to help you cope when life be life, and because I know life be life for everybody. So hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what you're dealing with, and I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I know it helps me as well. So let me know. Hit me up in the comment section, and until the next video, hit uh the like, subscribe, and share. Until the next video, you guys be blessed.